Hey folks, this is Chuck Mott here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about how I have my Helix set up for ultimate flexibility. I think for a solo act or even a band gig, if I'm running everything through my power cab. The speaker sims are already on here. For this, I actually have this lined up here. Um, for that matter of fact, I think I need to go ahead and into that amp there and turn off speaker sim since I already have a speaker simulator. But anyway. So foot switch number one, this is all set up with snapshots. Okay, so which would be the way that I would be using it. Foot switch number one only has this top button activated, and that's for the LA Studio compressor. I also have the a reverb set up over here, and that's just a spring reverb, and I would just kind of leave that on with the bass amp. I may turn that off, but I think I like the kind of sound of having a little something on there anyway. So anyway, that's foot switch number one. Foot switch number two activates a Fender Deluxe Normal amp sim, right? And that would be this, and then that's really the only other thing that's kind of on. I have the speaker simulator on for this, which is let me see, go down and see what I got for that. It's an own hammer, and it's a let's see, a CH412 Recto. So I guess that's it's a Mesa Boogie own hammer own hammer speaker sim, which I downloaded from their website. And I paid for all that stuff. They're very good. But anyway, so that's my clean sound. As I come over to here, I turn on a different amp sim. Pretty much everything else kind of stays on. This is my hard, sorry, my my crunch rhythms kind of sound, and I really like. I just saw Steve Morse, by the way, and I just made the kind of connection that, you know what, I'm actually using angle amps myself in this setup because I have the Angle Meteor set up. And that's for the crunch sound. And again, I mean, there's everything else. You're not really seeing like a lot of changes. In this one, I think I added a little bit of slapback reverb on that sound there. So there's that. I've got over here is my totally kind of crunched out lead sound, very overdriven. And I can't really play my guitar and show you these at the same time, so we'll just kind of leave that at that. But I really like the sound of this, and maybe I will run through the sounds here for you um, once I'm done. But anyway, that is my lead sound. It kind of turns on some extra delay. I think it's kind of set at 8 notes repeating, and it's a little bit kind of wilder, crazier sort of sound, mostly for like leads or maybe for like really processed stuff. I don't know, Rebel Yell maybe I would leave that on for. My next setting right here is, I want to say that is my, let me see, what do we got going on over here? Yeah, so that's a chorus. That's a chorus setting. That's a regular chorus setting. Still a clean amp kind of sim. Well, actually, no, that is a clean amp sim through my Fender Twin. So that's essentially my Fender Deluxe Normal, all right, US Deluxe Normal. Basically with a chorus on, pretty much everything's set on. You'll notice that I keep the speaker sim on all the time, as well as the reverb and the LA Studio compressor. I just like it. I like the sound of it. But as we get into this, and what do I got going on here? This is more of the same. This is actually intended to be, well, that's going to be set up as something else. But anyway, it looks like I have a repeat of that. I'm going to have to go ahead and change that. And it also has this other reverb on it, and yeah, and that's about it. This is going to be a, let me see, I got the chorus. I believe it's a chorus and a tremolo. Well, if I was using this through my power cab, then I would maybe turn that on along with this sort of sound. And I think I had originally set this up for Fleetwood Mac Dreams. So it's a tremolo with a chorus. And finally, on the end here, I have, this is just all this is. Everything else is pretty much turned off. There's no speaker sim turned on for this. This is just an acoustic amp sim. So the idea being that I can come down here, right, from left to right, yeah, left to right, starting at the bottom. On switch A, I can have just nothing turned on for my bass, for a bass amp if I want to kind of do a direct bass sound for my solo. So I might like loop a drum loop and then turn on the bass to add a bass line, and that's kind of what that was intended for. Second in line, I have my clean amp sim. Third in line, I have my angle 1 and angle 2 amps. Angle is, the angle amp sims, and again, I just love this. I went to see Steve Morris the other night, and I just love the sound of that. So I like this. You'll notice at the top here it says Castellano snaps. This was based on a Richie Castellano amp. Richie Castellano, kind of like a generic setup that he had posted online. I think I've kind of gotten, maybe with the exception of the angle amp settings, I think everything is pretty much completely different than what I had originally set it up for, which is just pretty much a copy of that. So this was actually based on Richie Castellano's snapshots, and again, this is all set up in snapshots, so it turns all these things on and off all at once. Anyway, going along to the top, I have the chorus turned on. And again, I have a duplicate patch here. That's with a little bit more reverb, and that's I'm going to be switching this up a little bit, but that's kind of like the idea. Over here, I have the a boost on with my No, actually, that isn't a boost. Well, hold on, let's take a look here. Been a while since I looked at it. I think that's okay. Yeah, so that's just another chorus on, and this is my acoustic amp sim. All it has the acoustic sim patch. And I'm not sure whether, I think that's an EQ, so I can do an acoustic simulator because I play with my solo act. I play with a semi-hollow body, and this will do a decent job of getting me in acoustic guitar territory, so I don't have to bring an extra guitar. And again, that remains to be seen, but we're going to go ahead and try that. I'm going to be using this tomorrow night at my solo gig at a place called McGurk's, and my solo act is essentially set up to be a one-man band kind of thing with backing tracks or using my RC500 looper, and a lot of that is kind of pre-recorded backing tracks, but I'm also getting into some live looping using my my Eastman T486. It's a semi-hollow, and actually does a pretty decent job if I want to keep the acoustic sim on. I can play kind of drums on it right above the pickups, and I can get a nice kick and snare sound out of that. So there's some live looping doing it that way. I'm playing along with backing tracks, and I'm also going to be changing that up also a little bit. All my backing tracks are through my RC500 right now, but that's not what this is set up as. And that's a whole other story. But anyway, that's my Helix setup. I kind of wanted to show you guys. So yeah, set up to have a bass, an acoustic, clean rhythm and lead sound, and a couple affected sounds, essentially, is what that is. So I hope this helps. Go check out that Richie Castellano snapshot video, and then just sort of kind of base some more snapshots based on that. And that's a great place to start. It's some great sounding presets in there. I've adapted it quite a bit, almost completely, with the exception of maybe the angle amp settings. But yeah, that's it. Chuck Mott Music. Feel free to like this page, like my video, like my channel, and if you have any questions, feel free to post them, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you.